Sonic 1 was a huge success, doing exactly what Sega was attempting to do with the franchise. Sonic had become a mascot rivaling in popularity with Mario, and it had become the game that sold the Sega Genesis. People wanted more, and Sega of USA obliged by developing Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Released in 1992, Sonic 2 went on to introduce series staples such as Tails and the Spin Dash, and became one of the best-selling games on the Sega Genesis. Sonic 2 plays very similarly to Sonic 1, so anyone who played Sonic 1 should know what they're getting into. While they play very similarly, Sonic 2 does add something new, the Spin Dash. By holding down and pressing jump multiple times, Sonic will spin into a ball and begin revving up. When the down button is released, Sonic will spin forward, destroying what's in his path. This attack is great for knocking out enemies in tight spaces and gaining some momentum quickly without needing any space. If you watched my previous review, you may have noticed that I said it could be slightly difficult to gain momentum quickly, and this is what remedies that. This increases the pace of play immensely, allowing for a more enjoyable experience. Other than that, the game controls the same unless you have a second player playing. The second player plays as the newly introduced Miles Tails Prower, who is a fox, and he can fly. He's also invincible, so you can abuse that for things such as bosses. You can also play as him in single player mode, but he plays just like a yellow Sonic, so there's no real point to doing so unless you like Tails' sprite better than Sonic's. The addition of the Spin Dash shows how Sega were attempting to make a game to be more fun, by adding speed to the game. This game shows off that so-called speed of Sonic and has level design that takes advantage of it. The level design is much larger and less platform-centric. There are still plenty of platforming challenges, but there is a larger emphasis on going fast and platforming at higher speeds. The whole design of the game shows that Sonic is fast. Inclusions of things like speed boosters reinforce this idea in the design. You can even outrun the screen a little bit in places like Chemical Plant Zone. Overall, I feel that the game has a much better understanding of what it truly is, and the level design really shows that. Water levels were the worst part of Sonic 1, but there are only two zones with water in them, Chemical Plant and Aquatic Ruin. Chemical Plant only has water for a small part of it, and Aquatic Ruin can have you not touch the water at all if you have the skill. The rest of the levels are definitely more fast-paced than in Sonic 1, and that makes it more enjoyable to play through for me. There are some who believe it's too fast to enjoy, however I feel that this pace allows us to have a ton of fun. Even the worst levels are more enjoyable than Labyrinth Zone and Marble Zone. Metropolis Zone, while annoying, just sticks out because it isn't as good as the others, but it is not egregiously bad. Even though exploding starfish are annoying, it still isn't as dull and boring as levels such as Labyrinth Zone. Overall, I believe the level design has been vastly improved over the original, leading to a wonderful platforming experience. The level design also greatly benefits from the change to 2 acts per zone. With only 2 acts in every zone, the levels go by quicker, ensuring that it doesn't get stale. Coincidentally, the one zone that has 3 acts is Metropolis Zone, but no one likes that anyway. Damn slicers and exploding starfish. You still fight a boss at the end of the last act of a zone, and that's all standard. Special stages are no longer found at the end of a stage, but instead you need to hit a checkpoint with 50 rings, and then jump into the sparkly thing that appears above it. The special stages are in the half-pipe formula, so you run on the half-pipe collecting rings, and if you have enough, you'll get the Chaos Emeralds. When you get 7 Chaos Emeralds, you unlock Supersonic. By gaining 50 rings and jumping, you turn yellow, you go super fast, jump super high, and are invincible at the cost of your rings decaying over time. This is a nice addition to the game, giving more motivation to complete the special stages and add some more replayability to the game. I don't like the special stages that much as they don't interest me, but they aren't as trippy as Sonic 1, so there's that. Speaking of the visuals, this game looks gorgeous as well. A lot of what was said about Sonic 1 can be applied to this, but this has some really nice looking stuff, such as Casino Night Zone, which is really bright and colorful and really looks great. Casino Night Zone also has a great jazzy theme, which I also adore. The entire game has an amazing soundtrack just like Sonic 1, with Hilltop Zone, Emerald Hill Zone, and Metropolis Zone being standouts. Both games have great soundtracks, and I'd highly recommend listening. Overall, Sonic 2 improves on almost everything contained within the first game, and is one of the best-selling games on the Genesis for a reason. Overall, this is my favorite Sonic game made, and I enjoy going back to play this as much as possible. I highly recommend this game not only because of its importance, but because of its incredible design, making it an incredibly enjoyable experience.